sportsmanship so that they can use their God-given talents to your benefit and to your glory. We ask you to watch over our officials so they do a great job on this hardwood. And we ask you to bless our coaches who do such a tremendous job with both of our schools. We ask you to bless our moms and dads who do so much for everyone. So with that, we say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women, blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. Gentlemen, have a great game this evening. The Lord is here to protect you, to watch over you. Use your skills and talents for His glory. Live Jesus in our hearts forever.
Thank you, Brother. At this time, I ask you please remain standing or move your hands as we honor our memory of those who served and protected. Senator Johnson Quinn will lead us in our national anthem.
Stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs were singing, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
It is the purpose of the Catholic High School Athletic Association to promote the highest standards of fair play and sportsmanship at all times. Keeping in mind the Catholic beliefs of all of our schools, all players, coaches, and spectators will adhere to this code of conduct as recorded in our bylaws. At this time, the players and coaches of both teams will shake hands as a sign of the importance that we place on sportsmanship in tonight's game. Finally, this code is subject to rejection from our game. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to meet tonight's starting lineup. First for the visiting Crusaders. 6'1" senior guard, number 0, Danny Rocha. 6'9" junior forward, number 3, Archbishop Stepinac. 6'5" junior guard, number 5, Hassan Rosen. 6'7" junior forward, number 10, Bill Perry. Running out starting out the center half, a 6'5" junior guard, number 25, Josiah Jones. Assistant coaches, still the Crusaders, Ryan Slade, Al Shepard, and Alex Diaz. And coach, for Stepinac, Patrick Sorrell. Senior forward, number 10, Nate Shooter!
University, the home of the Gales, and the site for round 2 of Iona Prep and Stepinac. Crusaders won the Crusaders Classic in overtime, 64-60 in early January. This is the second regular season matchup and perhaps the second of 4 overall. With Kevin Devaney Jr., David Resnick, Iona Prep 15-6 under second-year head coach Tim Philp, Ray Fernandez, JT Lindy, Nate Schillingford, Joe Wolf and Dylan Callahan start tonight. Johnny Keenan, who injured his ankle back on January 28th, remains out. Danny Carbuccia, Adonis Ratliff, Hassan Caresi, Dylan Perry, Josiah Jervis, the starting 5. For Patrick Massaroni, the all-time winningest coach in Stepinac history. Crusaders winners of 14 in a row, 19-3 overall. Play tonight without Darius Ratliff, who is out indefinitely. Stepinac in the black, opening possession for the Crusaders, and we are underway.
Great to be here, David. Obviously, both these teams shorthanded with Keenan out on one side, Darius Ratliff the other, but this is it. This is what these teams have been fighting for all season long, and here we are off the tip, and Stepinac scores the first bucket.
Iona Prep in the first matchup led at halftime, controlled most of the way before a late push from the Crusaders. As Stepinac used that game, their first of 14 wins in a row, that brings them on the cusp of back-to-back undefeated regular seasons. Dylan Callahan missing a couple of opportunities, and Hassan Caresi clears for the Crusaders, a perfect 13-0 in league play.
Danny Carbuccia, who had a quiet, I think it was 8 points, but all the assists he had in the game against Iona last time when they met back at the county center, and just runs the show well. And obviously you're going to see maybe the best point guard in the state on one side, or one of the best point guards in the state headed to UMass. And then obviously Johnny Keenan not being there. So Dylan Callahan takes over the point guard duties, and the offense just runs differently. Now gets back inside and blocked out by Adonis.
Callahan underneath, denied. First block there for Adonis. His twin brother Darius, as mentioned, still out. Caresi knocks it out of play.
Trying to force that into JT Lindy. Takes a starting spot with Keenan out.
Catch and shoot, Joe Wolf from the corner. Ring it up for an Iona Prep lead.
That was an NBA level shot.
On the other end, it's Dylan Perry. Stepinac at its best when it's on the move, and they score a transition bucket off a make.
That's an NBA level dunk. We saw that from Perry.
Callahan recovers out to Fernandez, and he knocks down a 3. Iona Prep has won 3 in a row, 8 of 9. They're shooting off the charts as of late. Something of concern for Patrick Massaroni.
And Ray Fernandez is one of those guys, when he gets hot early, it just sets the whole game up for him and really opens up this entire Iona offense.
It's a foul against Fernandez, who hit the most recent 3. Patrick Massaroni saying the emergence of Dylan Callahan, who has come into his own as a sophomore, a recent 30-point game, plus Nate Schillingford rounding into form after an injury that kept him off the gridiron in the fall. Part of the improvement for the Gales.
That 30-point game came, they called it double dribble for Carbuccia. That 30-point game came at home against St. Francis Prep, which is regarded as the best team in the New York side of the Catholic League, the city side. And they had them on the ropes, had the game tied in the final minute. Really, everyone you talked to around Iona said we should have won that game. And obviously every time you lose a close game, you say that. But that was really when Callahan showed just how good he was.
Iona Prep turnover. It's the only loss during this 9-game run. Caresi runs the floor, the pump fake, and the finish to tie things up at 6.
That's just not a natural pass for a 6'9" forward to make there for Adonis Ratliff. Just a perfect feed for a layup.
Well, if you're just seeing Ratliff for the first time, get accustomed to a lot of things that you don't expect from a 6'9" player. When Danny Carbuccia missed Tuesday's game with the flu, the win over Scanlon, Ratliff said, "You need me to play point guard?" And one for Caressi, the lead to Stepinac.
Yeah, that came in your appearance on the Inside Stepinac Basketball podcast that we did. And Coach Patrick Massaroni talked about him taking that point guard job or offering to do so, and it was a little tongue-in-cheek, but then realized that maybe it was their best path offensively to run the offense the way Danny Carbuccia does.
Caressi with 5 of the Stepinac 9, his older brother playing on the other side of this rivalry. Joe Wolf drives it. Another turnover taken by Perry. Here's Jervis, explodes to the rim and draws the foul, the second against the sophomore Fernandez.
Jervis leads his team in scoring just over 15 points per game. And after that, you've got a lot of guys averaging between 8 and 12 or 13, and just a variety of offensive options for this Crusader team.
A recent offer from Virginia Tech for Jervis, as his recruitment has really skyrocketed as of late. 2 fouls against Fernandez will send Tommy Wolf into the game, the sophomore younger brother of Joe, as Jervis makes 1 of 2.
Joe has been great of late. He's really stepped up and taken on the scoring load that Keenan left.
Ratliff will collect the Tommy Wolf miss. Carbuccia on the move. And he knocks that one in. First points for Danny Carbuccia, the 16th player in school history to reach 1,000, and 5th under Patrick Massaroni, who's now in his 10th year as head coach leading his alma mater. Schillingford, and now it is Callahan stepping through, setting up Nate. The 3 is off the rim. Long rebound could not be collected in time by Wolf. Stepinac possession nearly midway through the first.
Donis Ratliff went after that rebound, that loose ball, a little slower than you expect, and he sort of patted his chest. I don't know if he's winded at this time, halfway through this opening quarter.
Mike Kometz stepping in, one of 8 sophomores for Iona Prep. Off the dribble, Ratliff, wide left. Ill-advised for Adonis. Skipped to Wolf. Ratliff the rebound. Kick ahead to Jervis. The hesitation dribble. Pull up pop. Rattles down for Josiah. Iona Prep took a lead. Stepinac rattling off 8 in a row. Iona Prep calls a 30 that extends to a media timeout.
That was impressive there for Jervis in transition, because you automatically assume he's going to try and take a defender off the dribble, take him to the basket, try and draw the foul. Instead, he leaned in and faded away and knocks down that jump shot. That was a pretty play there for Jervis, and just goes to show you the variety and the depth that he has in his game. Sponsors for today's game here, the Super Saturday Showdown for Iona Prep. The school would like to thank the Petrillo family and MFM Contracting, Alumni Association President and current parent Felix J. Petrillo Jr., class of 1989, and alumnus and current parent Michael Petrillo, class of 1993. They'd also like to thank the Harrington family and Bleakley, Platt, and Schmidt attorneys, Hall of Famer William P. Harrington, class of 1975, Carolyn and Will, class of 2020. Maroon and Gold sponsors, they also want to thank the McCarthy family and Pro Safety Services, Avery and Tim, class of 2012. Alumni parents, Lauren, and Hall of Famer John McCarthy, class of 1979. The Optical Shop of New Rochelle and the Ciricella family. The Flynn family, Louis, Timothy, and Tommy. Great day, great events that we have here between these two schools. Obviously, Stepinac hosts their game at the Westchester County Center. And Iona Prep has it here at Iona University. It's become pretty much the best 2 dates on the calendar in Westchester basketball that didn't exist 10 years ago, which is pretty remarkable. But the work that Ryan Mahoney and as the athletic director of the school, and Tim Philp, the current head coach, put into hosting these games. We know what Pat Massaroni does at Stepinac to have the game, the Crusader Classic at Stepinac, is awesome. So we appreciate them allowing us to be part of it here at Local Live.
7th year in which a non-high school campus has hosted both of these regular season games. They just can't hold him anymore. And so the irony of Tim Philp, the Stepinac grad, going up against his alma mater is that if this trend continues, he won't have the opportunity to actually coach in his former gym that he used to captain as a senior. Joe Wolf missing from the corner. Carbuccia in the front court, eyes the rim, and lays it home.
7 of 11 shooting for Stepinac so far. Iona Prep 2 of 10.
You got a box out printer or something?
It's got it handed to me by the staff. So we're up top, obviously, here tonight. We're not courtside like normal. We gave our seats up to a nice couple down there. You have a nice date night here at the Iona University. Getting front row, middle seats that normally belong to us. But we have a good vantage point here in the perch.
Nice block at the rim, the combination of Ratliff. Joe Wolf is out. Chase Robinson is in. Tommy Wolf, the lefty. Caressi stays down. Inside to Kometz, and another rejection. Ratliff. Callahan sticks with it. Iona Prep keeps it alive. Jervis nearly the steal right in front of the Brother Stolt Trophy, given to the winner of the second game between Stepinac and Iona Prep.
Pat Massaroni told us on the podcast this week that the trophy was in his office at the time of it. He said he has remembered to bring it down to here in New Rochelle.
Stepinac winning 4 straight in this matchup. Callahan to the rim, no. The lefty could not finish, but it stays with the Gales. Stepinac has won 4 in a row, 13 of 14, but it's this game and this stage in which Iona Prep has found its success recently, splitting the last 4 games played on this floor. Ratliff the closeout, but it goes right to Kometz. Another miss at the rim, but the possession continues. Robinson, pull up, no. The back tap, Gales hold on to it. Tommy Wolf drives it. Extra pass, Lindy. Pull up, pop, good. Tommy Wolf ends the drought and also ends the possession with a bucket.
Eventually they had to hit a shot on that. So all the offensive rebounds, the tipping, and the passing. Maybe you get an easy basket here for Callahan.
Callahan lays it in 4 in a row after their first points in forever. And just like that, it is back to a 6-point game.
Almost a backcourt there. I don't know how that wasn't.
Caressi off balance. Big time answer for the junior.
Looking around the crowd here tonight, and I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces, obviously from the 2 schools, but I see Coach Joe Arbitello sitting behind the basket on the left end, the Iona shooting side, and he's sitting right next to former Stepinac great Kylan Guerra.
Is he in a suit?
No, he's not. He's in a Christ the King black hoodie sweatshirt, about 4 rows up. See, he thought he was going to be able to hide, but he's not.
Christ the King beat Iona Prep earlier this season. They do not play Stepinac in the regular season. Some city tournament scouting going on here.
He may also just be a basketball fan, you know. I'm sure he got comped to tickets, I hope. Deserves it. 6-time champion in the league.
And it speaks to kind of like a larger picture here from Iona Prep at 15-6, 9-5, trying to secure with a win the number 2 seed in the New York division of the CHSAA. Asking Tim Philp, how do you feel? Like, are you in contention? And he goes, sure, but until we actually pull out one of those close games. Shillingford underneath, nicely done. Until we make that shot at the end, until we beat our fellow competitors and contenders, are we really in the mix? Tonight can go a long way to really solidifying themselves as a city title contender.
You feel like it'll happen at the opportune time, right? It's not going to happen on a Tuesday against St. Francis. It's going to happen in a big game. Could be against Stepinac, could be in the playoffs. But it will happen.
Carbuccia with the shot clock off, drives it to Perry, fumbles it, stripped. Shillingford causes the fumble, and then Robinson at the gun, well short of his heave. And Coach Arbitello with those good hands.
He really can't hide. He got the ball knocked to him. And there we go. Good opening quarter, though, for Stepinac, 18-12 lead.
In between the first and the second quarter, just want to give a pop to Johnny Keenan. We mentioned the third-team All-CHSAA selection from a year ago out today. The injury suffered back on January 28th against St. Francis Prep. Tim Phillips saying this kid is a competitor, he's a warrior, he loves to play, and it's killing him that he's not out there. The hope is that he's back in time for the playoffs. Iona Prep with a couple more regular season games after tonight. But Keenan, a 4-year player, a 3-year starter, a 1,000-point scorer. This stage, Kevin, in a lot of ways, made for him to shine.
Yeah.
And he's out today. You could see in the gray sweatpants and hoodie, but just wanted to specifically shout out Johnny Keenan and his contributions and play over the last 4 years for the Gales.
I know you spoke to Coach Tim Phillips during the week. I didn't. I was kind of holding out hope. Maybe he was going to surprise us with Keenan in uniform. And I walked around the corner tonight, and I saw Iona players coming out. And I saw Johnny Keenan in a hoodie and the jersey over it. And I kind of exhaled. I felt bad for him because I know as much as it helps Iona to have him on the court, I know how much it meant to him to be out on the floor tonight, which he would not be able to do. So we're hoping for Johnny's sake that he's going to be rested and ready for the playoffs. And, because I don't think they can really go on a run and win. They can knock off teams. I don't know if they can win the string of games needed to win a championship without Johnny Keenan.
At one point, the leading scorer in the CHSAA, averaging 15 per. As Fernandez back out there with 2 fouls, misfires on the first shot of the second quarter, but it's more the guts, the guile, the veteran leadership, the ball handling, everything that Keenan's pedigree brings to the floor beyond just his stats.
Yeah, and again, it's a mindset. It's a winning mindset because, he was a guy who came in, as we said, a 4-year player, and he's had to line up against – the league is known for its guards, for its point guards. He's defended a lot of the best players in this part of the country and done so well and improved so much. And this year, listen, the game at the County Center, him and Carbuccia went head-to-head. And for him to hang in against a kid going to UMass, highly regarded prospect and player in Danny Carbuccia, it speaks to just how much he's grown and developed. And, again, we wish him the best and hope he gets back soon.
Yeah, a couple of 4-year guys scoring 1,000 points for their respective schools.
Only the 9th player to score 1,000 points in Iona Prep history, which is pretty remarkable. Yeah.
Jervis to Caressi. No. Rebounded there by Lindy.
When I read that stat on Twitter or Instagram, I read it, I kind of was waiting for it to say, since 2000 or something. But no, it's you don't see it that often in Iona because they just – the thing is, too, remember, Matt Ryan, Ty Jerome, their injuries kind of plagued them in parts of their career. Same thing with Bryce Wills. It wasn't as much of a dynamic scorer, just a great playmaker. And
those 3 guys didn't do it?
I don't know I'm not totally sure if they did, or if they did, they didn't do it by much.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the NBA, by the way. All 3. Well, 2 of them really are. I know Bryce Wills is in the G League and bounced around, but another terrific player.
Those 3 on the Iona Prep side really ushered in this era of extreme rivalry. Bypassing on the pass, Kometz, short corner, no. Iona Prep strong on the offensive glass, but didn't corral it that time. Josh Rivera did. It's a 6'7" point guard.
You don't see Fernandez pass that shot up either. I know he had an open man, but that's usually a shot he's got to take.
Foul there called against Lindy. Caressi and Rivera, along with Jervis, Perry, and Jack Coco. The lineup for Stepinac. Rivera from the college range left it short. Fernandez and Lindy, along with Wolf, Kometz, and Callahan. The 5 on the floor for Iona Prep as part of this Gold Rush night. Inside out, pull up, Kometz. This time knocks it in, and we've got a 4-point game.
Those are the shots that have to go against this zone. I mean, they're going to have to keep passing the ball and finding the open spots. They have to hit the mid-range jumpers.
Jervis on the pull-up, no, one and done for Stepinac as Wolf clears it. Stepinac a 1-point leading by 10 in the first quarter. Iona Prep chipping away at the deficit. A couple minutes gone by, second quarter. Callahan catch and shoot, corner 3 with a hand in his face, and it's a 1-point game here in the second quarter.
Something about lefty shooters, David. Love it. Just this easy, soft stroke from that corner.
Jervis cannot answer.
Iona will settle for that. They'll let Stepinac shoot from the outside.
Chance to take the lead for Iona Prep. They were up 6-4 early, and then Stepinac went on a run to create some separation. Wolf lets it fly, and here comes the shooting of Iona Prep, catching fire in the second quarter. Timeout, Stepinac.
And Pat Masseroni's disgusted because he was trying to let Carbucci and Adonis Ratliff get some rest, and with them on the bench, Iona goes on this run and takes the lead. And he is, as we've seen him before in this matchup, he's furious with his team. Tim Philp also animated with his roster.
It's a couple of things from the Stepinac perspective. It's the lack of ball movement. It's giving up the threes, although credit to Iona Prep for knocking down a couple of contested ones in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, those are huge. I mean, the shooting in the first quarter was just not what you expect out of Iona Prep. 5 of 21 from the field. They were 2 of 7 from 3. I mean, that's just, the numbers were going to, even out at some point with this team. They're just too good of a shooting team. And here we are in the second quarter. They catch a little bit of fire, take the lead, and Stepinac trying to cool them off out of this timeout.
As you mentioned, in regards to the Stepinac lineup, Danny Carbuccia, Adonis Ratliff check back in. It's a 20-18 Iona Prep lead. They've scored the first 8 points of the second quarter to take the advantage. Iona Prep sitting in a zone. Tim Philp talking about how you've got to change things up in these games as Dylan Perry grabs the offensive rebound, but lost it out of bounds. These teams are too good. The coaches are too well prepared to just roll the ball out and do everything that you do the same. Chase Graham into the lineup for Iona Prep, showing their depth as they have rolled 10 deep so far. Oh, that's a deep look. Wolf with the heat check. Fernandez rebounds the miss. Callahan drives it with a hand in his face, misfires. Ratliff clears it. Iona Prep back defensively against a team that loves to run. Shillingford with that defensive assignment on Ratliff.
And he's got to really worry about him on the perimeter. He fires up a 3.
Caressi, the rebound, and the stick back.
3 defenders there. He never thought he'd get a shot off, and let alone make it.
Stepinac known for its balanced games in which all 5 starters score in double figures. Today so far, it's been the 8 of Caressi to lead the way.
Ooh.
Ratliff, the reach and the steal. 3-on-1. Carbuccia gives it up. Jervis underneath.
And here we are with Stepinac the lead back.
Stepinac matches the 8 in a row with 4 of its own to reclaim the lead. 3.25 minutes to go. Shillingford for 3. Another triple for the Gales.
You know, Shillingford didn't really shoot much in the first matchup, and he's come on and become, again, with Keenan out, they needed other guys to step up and make shots, and Shillingford's capable.
In and out. Jervis, offensive rebound. Short-armed it, got another crack at it, and got walloped. He'll go to the line.
Walloped is barely the word, and he still almost made that.
Unofficially, Iona Prep with 5 made threes in the first half. Unofficially, because I don't trust my counting. As Jervis lips out on a free throw. Typically sure-handed at the line, he's now 1 of 3. Well, that'll add a few gray hairs to the perfectly combed hair of Patrick Massaroni. Shillingford, a step back. Callahan rebounds over Caressi. Gales can reset. Wolf lets it rip. No. Jervis mistimed his jump. Callahan collects. Shillingford had a crack at it. Carbuccia the other way. Sets up his drive. On the bounce to Perry. Slipped out of his hands.
I think it was deflected out of there. I don't know if it was Wolf or not.
Lindy try to make a highlight play. Wolf tees it up off the rim.
Now they can't make a shot, Iona, all of a sudden. Oh, what a pass.
Threads it to Caressi. It's become a track meet. If somebody could score it. Tim Philp has seen enough. Thank you, Coach.
It's been an ugly last couple minutes. Neither team can get the ball to go through the rim. And timeout going to be taken. And I think it's good. I think both teams are just kind of a little out of kilter right now. Iona protecting a 1-point lead under 2 minutes to go in this first half.
23-22, Iona with the lead. Good balance for the Gales. Joe Wolf with 6, Callahan with 5, Shillingford with 5 as well. Iona Prep with some work left to do in the season. Intriguing non-league matchup on Tuesday against Don Bosco, the New Jersey Power from Bergen County. And then a makeup game on Thursday. They'll face Earl Monroe out of the PSAL. A makeup game after an earlier cancellation from Eagle Academy. Stepinac, meanwhile, one more game to go. It's a league matchup against St. Francis Prep, the top team in the New York division against the top team from Brooklyn, Queens. And that has been a frequent opponent for Stepinac on the final day of the regular season, which is Tuesday in the league.
Weather permitting, David.
There's more coming?
Yes.
Oh.
My meteorologist friends tell me it could be a bad week.
Oh, you're very well connected.
Yes, I am, yes.
Is that because you had to rev up the snowblower?
That's it, yeah. I bought that thing 4 years ago. It didn't snow for 3 years.
But now it's ready to go.
And now we're ready to go.
Minute and a half to go. Callahan spinning. Wolf driving. It's a long 2. That is swished by Komets.
The inside-out passes for Iona Prep right now, creating the offense that they're knocking down shots. Again, 2-3 zone. They want Stepinac to shoot the basketball.
Rivera on the baseline. Perry couldn't handle the pass. Final minute of play. Iona Prep without Keenan. A late first half lead. Fought back from the early Stepinac surge behind 5 first half three-pointers and also terrific offensive rebounding to give them more chances.
Iona's got a 29-17 lead in rebounding.
Six-second difference between game and shot clock. Iona Prep shortening the half. 6 on the timer. Lindy turns the corner. Lindy off glass and good. It's a 5-point lead. 2 seconds to go. Carbuccia elevates. Carbuccia wide right. Momentum to the locker room for the Gales. 27-22. Halftime of the Super Saturday Showdown.
Special tribute to our scout athletes who have committed to playing in Elite Four next year. Please join me in a round of applause for each of these athletes. Starting with Christian Corcione, who will be heading to Colgate University and the rowing team. Rowan Bird, football, Clemson University. Paolo Santo, University of Iona, who will head to play our wrestling team. Anthony D'Ambrosio, football at Copco. Matt Evans will be playing football at Fordham University. Andrew Zaglio Jr. is heading to Lincoln University to play baseball. Stephen County Jr. is heading to Sacred Heart University to play football. Gabriel George is heading to the United States Naval Academy to play on the football team next season. Patrick Garrity, Catholic University of America, will play lacrosse. Jordan Goldstein is going to Trinity College to play baseball. Micah Hunter is heading to RPI to play football. Logan is going to the College of the Holy Cross to play lacrosse. And Paulo Rogliano is heading to Pace University to play soccer. Ladies and gentlemen, joining the half-court is our President, Brother Consolino. We ask everyone now to join us in a big round of applause for our scout athletes. This is truly exemplifies the meaning of the definition of scout athlete. The national average school sends 78% of its athletes on to play collegiately. Iona Prep averages 15% of its scout athletes per year. This surpasses a collective GPA of 88.5. Looking again, that Iona Prep is education for higher expectations. And Iona Prep students is the gateway to the top-tier collegiate commitments. Big round of applause for our scout athletes. like to recognize and honor the 2024 championship varsity football team that will play. Our varsity football team finished the regular season with an 11-2 overall record. They finished the regular season as the #1 overall seed and went on to defeat Chaminade 34-14 in the semis. Initial field, the team captured the AAA CHSFL championship with a 43-22 win over St. Albans. The team then traveled to Buffalo to face Canisius for the New York State Catholic Championship and won 42-26. This is the second time the team has won the New York State title. Our varsity team finished the season ranked #1 in New York State and 136th overall in the country. At this time, we'd like to recognize the players and the coaches as they will receive their championship rings and their award. At this time, we'd like to introduce our head coach and alumnus of the class of 1998, Joe Spagnuolo, to present the rings to his players. But first, the members of the coaching staff. Lou DiRienzo, Pat Gallo, Richie Zasello, Michael Moffitt, Felix Petrillo, Andrew Upson, Brittany Sullivan, Mike DeSanto, Vic Diablo, and Dominic Zanat. Another big hand for our coaching staff, ladies and gentlemen. And now for the members of the team, starting with #2, Brandon Presley. #3, Teron Johnson. #4, Jameer Cooper. #5, Drew Davis. #6, Matthew Abbott. #7, AJ Zimmerman. #8, Stephen Downey Jr. #9, Bobby Sangre. #10, Nathaniel Schillingford. #11, Joe Wolf. #12, Eric Bruno. #13, Marco Pasto. #15, Julian Guzman. #16, Brendan O'Brien. #17, Landon Rowley. #18, AJ Lamada. #19, Taj Joseph. #20, Jeffrey Galloway. #21, Elijah Smith. #22, Frank De La Rosa. #23, Jaleel Stewart. #24, Compton King. #25, Jason Campbell. #26, Xander Bull. #27, David Euling. #28, Janelle Jones. #30, George Janaj. #31, Gabriel George. #32, Robert Connolly. #33, Michael Drumming. #34, Eric Camacho Jr. #40, Andres Alvarez. #42, Nicholas Albanese. #44, Nico Arango. #45, Matthew Plunkett. #50, Sean Merlo. #51, Matthew Perez. #52, Rowan Bird. #53, Tanner Finnison. #54, Justin Seidman. #55, Orion Trujillo. #56, Carlos Salzman. #57, Chris Solera. #58, Austin Farrell. #62, Dominic Bregas. #64, George Theologis. #65, Jonathan Galino. #71, Jay Nicolau. #72, Micah Hunter. #73, Charles Kelsey. #74, Anthony DiRaccio. #75, Abraham Guerrero. #77, Anthony Napoli. #80, and number 84, Michael Messina. Our team manager, AJ Gray, Jonathan DeSanto, and Brett Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, have a big round of applause for the 2024 CHSFL and Catholic State Football Champions.
27-22. It is the lead for Iona Prep as we begin the second half after a lengthy but worthwhile halftime in which Iona Prep honored its future Division I athletes and also their state championship football team by handing out rings to all players and coaches.
I thought Kendrick Lamar was going to come out and perform that halftime with Super Bowl.
Long enough,
getting ready. Right. Yeah, gets ready for tomorrow, Gets us used to a long break in between second and third quarters.
Nate Schillingford and Joe Wolf getting their football ring and got back to the floor in time after their numbers were called to join the team picture. Congratulations to them.
So Stepinac scored 22 offensive rebound here. 22 points in the first half, 18 in the paint, 2 at the line, only 1 jumper, another basket in the paint. But they'll take him any way they can get him after only scoring 4 points in that second quarter.
Danny Carbuccia getting to the rim, taking that extra step to get to the second side, and it's back to a 3-point game.
Stepinac 0 of 8 from behind the arc, 5 of 16 for Iona Prep, and they all came in sort of a short stretch.
Unlike the first matchup, Stepinac took the early lead, but Iona Prep settling in a big second quarter. Out to Schillingford. It's a 3. Their 6th make from beyond the arc.
They've left them open a couple times. Deep. Knocked down 2 now. Didn't leave his feet.
Patrick Massaroni was worried about the 3 ball, and it has come to fruition. Carbuccia keeps the dribble. On the bounce, Ratliff has the answer. Adonis strokes down the 3. He's got 5.
Created on the bounce pass across the lane there by Carbuccia.
With his dad, the former longtime NBA defensive specialist in the front row to our right. Callahan kicks out of a double. Schillingford, 3 more.
The senior having a night so far. Quickly here.
It's a 6-point lead.
He has 8.
Off the dribble, Jervis gets the friendly bounce.
Thought they were going to Dylan Perry there on a push on the offensive rebound, but
Fernandez picked up those 2 early fouls. Wolf on the move, got hit. It's against Perry.
That's a kind of a tough call on the baseline drive.
So we'll go back to this theme that we brought up in the first half.
What was that, David?
It's nice to be at 9-5. It's nice to be second place in the New York division. But at some point, as Tim Philp would say, you have to make the shot. Is tonight going to be the night that Iona Prep makes the shot and beats an established contender and the 2-time defending city champs? Callahan running the floor, getting to the rim.
This would be not a bad night to do it, Dave. I mean, considering this team, you want something to feel good about going into the playoffs more than just your record and your seed. Ooh, knock it down. That's a huge shot for Carbuccia. Mentally, in every way, has not shot the ball consistently great all season as you'd expect, but that's a big 3 for him.
Back to a 5-point game. Schillingford inside, denied. It was Ratliff, the big-time block. Danny with a head of steam. Blocking foul.
Wow, I thought the official under the basket looked like he was about to call it the other way against Carbuccia, but the official on the near side here overruled. Tim Philp wants an explanation as Carbuccia goes to the line for 2.
Danny Carbuccia, lead guard, 51% at the line on the season, makes his first. He's up to 10 points, 6 of them here in the third quarter as he tries to dig his Crusaders out of an 8-point hole. And one of these moments where you need your lone senior with 1,000 points and 500 assists to step up and take over.
I wonder if at some points this season Carbuccio is too unselfish. That's a nice finish there for Callahan. If Carbuccio was too unselfish, came into the season, had his college decided, already signed, and felt he was going to come out here and just be the ultimate point guard for this team and neglecting his shot.
Averages 10 points, 7 assists, sees the gap, drives it, and scores it.
Quite a lane you leave there for Danny Carbuccio.
Again, Iona Prep playing without Keenan. Crusaders do not have Darius Ratliff. A foot injury that he suffered against St. Peter's. Poke from behind, saved on the baseline. Jervis leads the break. Josiah Jervis, pull up, no. Perry underneath.
Ooh.
A chance at 3 after the offensive rebounds.
Iona's got back on defense, but it just didn't look like they kind of were on any sort of attack on the defensive side. Let an open jumper go, and then an offensive rebound, and now a foul and a putback. Ray
Fernandez just committed his 3rd foul. And what epitomizes this game, maybe more than anything else, it's a media timeout.
Yes, it is. And we talked about Johnny Keenan being injured. He's not the most injured person in this Iona prep
this
huddle.
One's all you.
So Tim Phillips, assistant coach Joe Ciricelli, who's actually squatting down leading the huddle right now, so you really can't see him, but he's kneeling down there. He has a huge white bandage on his left finger, on his left hand. And earlier today, before the game, you know, they do a walkthrough. He goes to work out. He's a big, strong guy, and he's working out at a club, and he dropped a 50-pound dumbbell that he was working out with, and his hand was on the ground, and the dumbbell bounces up off the floor and lands on his left ring finger. And according to him, it like almost crushed his finger, lost his fingernail, blood everywhere, and he had to go to the emergency room. So he goes to the emergency room around 2:30 today, and he's there, and he's waiting to see a doctor. He gets to see a doctor, and the doctor's telling him all about, puck goes in, and the doctor's telling him all about, what he has to do and take care of it, and he's sitting there, and in the back of his mind, he wants to get the heck out of there. The doctor says, is there any other questions you might have? Because my main question is this. I coach basketball, and we have a game at 5:30. Am I going to be able to get there in time? The doctor says to him, sure, where do you coach? He says, Iona Prep. Turns out his doctor is a 2003 Iona Prep graduate, ran track here at Iona Prep, and led him and stitched him up quick, got him out, got him here, and he's on the bench with a gigantic bandage on his left finger. He keeps looking at it, and I saw him over there, and I went up to see if he was okay. He's a good friend of mine, Joe C. And he told me, you can see the blood stains kind of coming through the bandage because that's how, he goes, well, we had to do it quick. We had to get back here. We have a game, 5:30. Here we are. This team with the lead now with a free throw for Stepinac.
That's why I only use 45s.
Yes. I said, dude, 50 pounds may not be for you. Leave it to guys like me and Josh. Dave. Josh, our cameraman here.
Barry cannot complete the three-point play. When they talk about going to Iona Prep for the Alumni Network, I don't know if they were specifically talking about that, but it works. Big battle for the rebound, and it caroms out to Jervis. Chance to take the lead here for the Crusaders. Carbuccio, the crossover, gets inside, flips it up. Stepinac wanted a foul. Ten to shoot.
Trying to work for that three-point shot.
Callahan comes up short. Carbuccio fumbled it away. Carroll's turnover and then the interception. Kick ahead to Jervis and the lead for Stepinac.
That's how you turn a turnover into a positive. Turned the ball over, got it tipped away from him, and just took it right back. Almost took it off the face and then makes a crazy pass in transition through a defender for a layup.
It was a fumble, interception, and touchdown, or at least a converted two-point conversion there on this Super Saturday Showdown.
Wild sequence, watching it back on the local live broadcast.
Chillingford and Fernandez sit. Mike Kometz, who gave some good first half minutes checking in along with Tommy Wolf, stays with the Gales. 40-39. Stepinac picking up its play after a 4-point, that's right, 4-point second quarter.
I'd love to know the last time they did that.
They are undefeated in league play. They have won 28 regular season Catholic games in a row, 37 of 38 overall, dating back to the city playoffs 2 years ago in the league.
14-game winning streak as well, right?
Sure is, as Lindy goes second side. Lead changing hands here in the third quarter. That has 90 seconds left. First matchup went to overtime. 3 out of the last 4 played here at Iona have been played within 2 possessions, and that is what this one is shaping up to be. Perry, another rebound.
Oh, what a play.
Tripped on the way up. Great hands, Lindy.
Lindy got that low.
Carbuccia, good hands. Up ahead, Jervis.
Another assist for Danny Carbuccia.
3 lead changes late in the third.
6 assists, go along with 13 points.
Iona Prep at one point had a 8-point lead. It is a 13-4 Stepinac run. Lindy lost it. Ratliff up ahead. Carbuccia lays it home. Transition bucket for the Crusaders. Shot clock is off, 30 seconds to go. Carbuccia with 11 of his 15 here in the third. Senior stepping up big. The run is 15-4 for the Crusaders, with the Brother Stolt Trophy on the line. Down to 10. Lindy watched by Jervis. Callahan on the rip through. Deflects to Wolf, lets it fly, no. A tip is late and off the mark. We are through 3, and the Crusaders lead by 3 at the Super Saturday Showdown. Stepinac has already locked up its second straight outright division title, at least a share of the last 3. Meanwhile, Iona Prep with a win today, they would lock in the number 2 seed in the mix with Cardinal Hayes and St. Raymond for that number 2 spot. Stepinac has already secured the number 1 seed and the bye into the semifinals. Avoiding the 4 seed would keep round 3 until the Archdiocese Finals. Back here at Iona University with Kevin Devaney Jr., David Resnick. Our cameraman is Josh Drepsky for this Super Saturday Showdown with the Brothers Stolt Trophy on the line. Stepinac scored 22 points in the first half. They had 22 points in the third, closing on a 15-4 run to take the lead. A couple of empty possessions here to start the fourth.
Stepinac shot 8 of 13 in the first quarter, 2 of 15 in the second, and then 9 of 15 in the third. That ball was halfway down and falls out.
Fernandez vying for his second triple. Iron unkind here for the home Gales. Pull up Caresi, no. Shillingford back out there, Lindy as well.
That's a shot Iona cannot give up, and they got lucky it doesn't go down.
Fernandez
Caresi doesn't miss that, sorry.
Joe Wolf and Dylan Callahan, excuse me. Callahan controls. Fernandez lets it fly. That one off the rim, right to Shillingford. He misses from deep. Lindy the first one to it, but lost the handle, and Rivera is fouled in the backcourt.
A couple of threes, good looks for Iona. Short front iron, and don't fall. I wonder if they're fatigued at this point. Shots like that, chances to tie, can't come up with it.
Speaking of fatigue, and perhaps this is misplaced on a bunch of high schoolers that can go all day, but Stepinac has really tightened the rotation, really relying on Carbuccia and Ratliff in that third quarter. Do they have enough to go the distance? And Adonis will start answering the question with a layup to push the lead to 5. And Stepinac, after a positive play, calls for time.
Well, they're going to have to, Dave. I mean, you look at the plus-minus numbers. It's, the best things happen when Carbuccia and Adonis are on the floor. And pretty much everybody else is sort of the same, if not lower. And those guys are just too valuable right now to have on the bench. So timeouts are probably going to be taken. We joke with Coach Pat Masseroni often about his timeout usage. And these might just be rest them timeouts here the rest of the way.
Both with 3 left, and I think that's a great point. Not only are you holding on to them for late game strategy, but trying to manipulate things here in order to get extended rest for your players. Iona Prep with a couple more home games to go. Tuesday and Thursday, Don Bosco and Monroe, the 2 opponents. To watch those games, of course, on Local Live. Stepinac on the road Tuesday to wrap up the regular season. And will they be doing so on a 15-game winning streak and winners of 29 Catholic League regular season games in a row? We've got the next 6-10 at least to figure it out. We mentioned earlier that Patrick Masseroni, who was discovered this week as the all-time winningest coach in school history at 189 career wins. Tim Philp is 4th. Spent 11 years coaching his alma mater. One of 5 kids. His 4 brothers all played football except for him. He was the captain his senior year for the Crusaders. The middle of 5 Philp brothers.
Great athletic genes. And now they pass them on down to Tim Philp's daughter, Emma, who's a 7th grade varsity softball phenom at Ardsley High School. Hit bombs.
Huh.
So
she reclassed 2 or 3 times or something?
No. She is legit 7th grade, and she's incredible to watch. So I've been known Tim Philp, friends with him since he coached at Stepinac a long time ago. And Instagram friends, and people on Instagram like to post videos of their children doing stuff. At a very young age, I said, Tim, you have something special with your daughter as a softball player. That swing is unnatural for a girl at the time who was like 9 or 10 years old. And he's a coach, and he cultivated it, got her the right coaches around her and swing coaches, and put her in the best programs. And she is on the track to be really, I don't want to understate just how talented she is.
Callahan makes 1 of 2 into double figures. Foul is on the floor. called against Jack Coco.
The one thing I'm trying to work with Tim Phillip on, though, is improving his video skills. Yeah, they're not great.
Vertical?
Yeah, little vertical phone stuff. I'm not really, we don't, that's kind of faux pas for guys like us. But he's going to get there.
Maybe a little less time studying film and practicing filming, huh?
Yes.
JT Lindy on the cut to Wolf, up with the left hand, nearly got stuck. Rebounded by Stepinac with Danny Carbuccia back in the game. (46-42), another tight one after the first matchup went to overtime. Ratliff rotates into a three. Long rebound comes down to Caressi. An extra step and score through the paint for two.
He walked halfway through Europe on that one.
Long strides,
Yeah.
up to 11.
Everything, whenever someone says it's not a travel, it's the Euro, I always laugh. That was a extra step.
Deflected and stolen away.
The turnovers for Iona are just a problem.
Stepinac with numbers, Carbuccia, and one. Speeds ahead. He's got 17, most of his damage since halftime, and the Crusaders building their lead to 8.
The deflections, the steals, I mean, there's been a couple of plays that were just freak athletic plays for Stepinac defensively, and then there's balls that were thrown almost at them. And right there leading to a big three-point play. Now a 9-point lead, 4.5 to go.
They led by 10 in the first quarter. They were up 16-6. Callahan off the dribble, swish. Dylan Callahan strokes the three. Timeout Iona Prep, it's a 30-second stoppage.
Didn't think Dylan Callahan was getting enough touches on offense, wasn't getting enough shots. And right there knocks down a huge three, straightaway shot to, I don't want to say keep them in this game, but can't fall double digits down to Stepinac in the fourth quarter.
8th three-pointer made by Iona Prep. First one here in the fourth quarter, and to your point, just when it seemed like there was a sense of comfort, I think, for the Crusaders, that three makes it a 6-point game and keeping things very much interesting. Iona Prep during this run in which they've surged up the state rankings to number 5 overall. Stepinac number 1 in AA. Winning 3 in a row, 8 of 9. Tim Phillip really liking the way the team has come together. Not that turnovers were ever an issue, but they continue to limit them. And he's also liked the team defense as well. And winning the last 3 without Keenan, even more impressive. Good hands for Tommy Wolf. Out of the timeout, Stepinac turns it over. It's a 6-point game. Stolen right back. Patrick Massaroni screaming for a timeout as he searches for someone in stripes. He calls a 30-second timeout with 3:45 to go. Possession so valuable as he uses one of his 3 final timeouts.
6-point lead, 3:45. I still think Adonis probably could have found, I believe it was Dylan Perry running up the side, but didn't release the basketball. So a timeout going to be taken, 2 remaining for Stepinac as they're kind of what you'd expect. That second quarter was exactly what happens to Stepinac when they come in this building in this game sometimes. They go through these lulls that you don't see them have all season. Lost a few games, tough games here against Iona in these Super Saturday showdowns.
2020 in R.J. Davis's senior year, 66-61. A couple of years ago, Blaze New at the Horn, 44-42. Stepinac last year escaped with a 1-point-68-67 victory, so no surprise that this matchup is close. Last year's loss by Iona Prep showed the growth of the program. Good feed inside. Ratliff, though, off the rim. 2-possession game. Closing in on 3 minutes to go. From the corner, off the rim, no. Rivera, the big-time board. Stepinac led after the first. Iona Prep up by 5 at halftime. A 15-4 third quarter close gave the Crusaders the lead by 3 to start the fourth. At one point extended the lead to 9. Callahan's 3 makes it 6. Rivera got it. Big bucket for Josh Rivera in the corner for his first points of the game.
Talked about the depth, the scoring options that Stepinac has. Count on anybody on the floor at any given time.
Callahan missing a step back. Caresi swoops in for the rebounds. And now Stepinac in protection mode. They ran the clock down on their last possession. Lindy commits the foul. Just the third against Iona Prep. Dylan Perry in, Rivera out. Kometz sits. And Ray Fernandez, the sharpshooter, returns to the Iona Prep lineup.
Now it's time. Iona Prep needs to stop, and then they're probably going to need to go to the 3-ball.
The foul resets the shot clock. So we're under 2 minutes to go, and Stepinac has a fresh 35. Kick, corner. Jervis well short. We were ready for a Patrick Massaroni running down the sideline fist pump. And instead, Danny Carbuccia on the other end commits the foul in a 9-point game.
Fouls to give for Stepinac.
One more to give with 1:37 to go. Iona Prep can shoot their way back into it. They've already made 8 threes. Callahan got a step on Ratliff. Baseline out of bounds for the Gales. Fernandez, he can do that.
It's the thing that Stepinac just could not give up, and they just lost Fernandez.
The shooter of all shooters. Just his second triple, but the guy to look out for. Stepinac will have to work for it here. Iona Prep using a timeout with 1:25 to go. 54-48. Full timeout taken by the Gales. Stepinac with 2 stoppages at their disposal. Danny Carbuccia with 18, 14 of them since halftime. As for Iona Prep, leading scorer Nate Schillingford with 11, Dylan Callahan 13. Iona Prep very much in the conversation for an Archdiocesan and city championship. If they are to lose tonight, they would fall to 9-6 in league play. Their CHSAA games would be over, so they'd be in the clubhouse at 9-6. But Cardinal Hayes and St. Raymond still with games to play in the league to see how the top 4 seeds will shake out. Stepinac has already locked up the number 1 seed and bye into the semifinals. that also means for Stepinac, with the bye into the semifinals, they will start the trek for their three-peat in the city quarters. So they only need to win
advantage.
3.
Yep, huge advantage for them.
And for any team that makes the semifinals of the Archdiocesan and Diocesan tournaments. We've got 1 minute to go in a 6-point game. Carbuccia driving, lost it. Caressi taking his time, spotted Jervis underneath, the pump fake. Oh, and the veteran lay-in.
That was a game-winning possession right there. That was everything you wanted to do.
Could not hurry Jervis up.
Ooh.
Ratliff going for the block. And commits the foul.
Young man, he's got a rejection right at the forehead. He's all right, though. Tough.
Should get Adonis to sign that forehead. Callahan to the line. Sensational sophomore. Played varsity as a freshman, saw the talent, knew that he would have the ability to be a 4-year contributor. One of 8 10th graders on the varsity roster, reshaping the culture and team under Tim Philp, who won an A championship as a head coach at Stepinac, was on the bench for a couple of AA titles with Cardinal Hayes, with Joe Loads. Iona Prep had 1 foul to give. They do so with 31.6 seconds left. Stepinac can seal it at the foul line. And Danny Carbuccia to trigger in play. As you would expect Iona Prep to look to foul if they can't get the steal. Great pass to Jervis, and a wise decision to pull it out. And they will send one of the best free throw shooters on the team to the line.
Fans are starting to file out, and you know, Iona Prep, I mean, understatement being they really missed Johnny Keenan tonight. I mean, they really did. This is more, I've watched all their games since he's been out, and this is where they just look like they struggled the most to move the basketball, to create offense. And honestly, defensively, I thought they were great. I mean, they defended really well. I mean, for that second quarter was pretty awesome, and the zone really gave Stepinac trouble, but you're not going to beat Stepinac scoring 49 points.
The pace definitely favored Iona Prep. Stepinac wants to get into the 70s. They will not tonight. Callahan fires no. Schilling forward the offensive rebounds. Fernandez wants to pull the trigger, but gives it up to Wolf in the corner. It's a rebound for Ratliff, and that should do it for the Crusaders. Overcoming a poor second quarter to sweep Iona Prep this season, take home the Brother Stolt Trophy, increase their winning streak to 15, and win their 29th CHSAA regular season game in a row, thanks to a 58-49 final.
I don't know the last time Danny Carbuccia probably led this team in scoring because he's such a distributor playmaker, but he had 18 tonight, 7 points, 15 rebounds for Adonis Ratliff, 11 points for Caressi, 25 for 15 for Josiah Jervis, and more balance, but really a good sign for Stepinac to see Carbuccia taking the ball to the basket, shooting the three, and getting to the line and doing all the things that we know he could do. And he has 6 assists. Stepinac now undefeated in the league, and congratulations to Coach Pat Massaroni and his squad.
Career win 190. Patrick Massaroni is now 19-6 against Iona Prep. Brian Mahoney, the athletic director for Iona Prep, to hand over the Brother Stolt Trophy to Stepinac. Crusaders will take it back to White Plains for the second year in a row. Danny Carbuccia right next to Patrick Massaroni. This one was well earned as the senior took over in the second half and really turned the fortunes for Stepinac. And Patrick Massaroni could spend more time with the trophy hanging out in his office. Credit to Iona Prep, right on the cusp. Tim Philp wants to know, when will his team make the shot? It's coming. And very real that this could be the second of 4 meetings with the Archdiocese playoffs and the New York City Championship bracket to come. Our thanks, of course, to Iona Prep for their hospitality, another incredibly well-run Super Saturday Showdown. They had to move the starting time up for the impending snow, and the community came out for this game once again. No end in sight for the importance and interest in this rivalry. 58-49 the final score. Stepinac takes down Iona Prep. Crusaders are 20-3. Gales drop to 15-7. 2 more home games next week for Iona Prep. For Kevin Devaney Jr. and our cameraman, Josh Trepsky, David Resnick, thanks so much for joining us as we say good night from New Rochelle on Local Live.